Hello YouTube, what is going on? This is Epic Big Bird and I am back with some more Rome 2 Total War Online commentary action for you all today. This battle is going to be a 1v1 large funds battle. I have chosen Galatia today and my opponent will be facing off against me as the Iceni. So let's get into unit composition real quick before this battle gets underway. For my main line, I have brought in with me today looks like 6 Galatian Legionnaires, a Naked Sword unit, and a Celtic Tribesman here. I've brought in with me 3 Galatian Raiders and 4 Noble Horse today. And my opponent today has brought in with him a heroic, 2 Heroic Riders, a Veteran Rider. Here's a second Heroic Rider, and 2 Veteran Riders, excuse me. He has 2 Ambusher units here. He has 2 Chosen Swordband here, 4 Chosen Swordband, and 2 Heroic Noble units, as well as a Chariot unit here. So let's get this battle underway. You can see here on the right flank I'm starting to harass my opponent with my Galatian Raiders. I'm trying to ride forward, get some pop shots on him, and pull his cavalry closer back towards my own, where it will be isolated from his own army. So we'll get up close and personal while we watch these first volleys come in, and this is really just soaking up, loosening up these veteran riders for my noble horse here. Just getting a few hit point damage on them, and here you can see I do manage to entice him into a little bit of a rash charge. I'm going to be able to pin both of his cavalry with 1 here. However, I do kind of make a mistake here, charging in my second cab unit a little prematurely. That's going to allow his Heroic Riders and his Veteran Riders that he was holding in reserve to join the fight. He's also going to throw in his ambushers into the fight. And you can see here, so let's take a look here. I just committed another set of Noble Riders, and his chariots are now bearing down on my infantry. So to counter this, I'm going to charge my general in there, frenzy charge, and that's going to hold his chariots in place and effectively stop them. And you can see here we do kill about 3 of them on that charge, which is really good. Forces him to pull out of the engagement. You can see my infantry is shifting to the right. We are going to try and wrap up the cavalry engagement. But you can see here this is really good use of these chariots right here. My opponent slamming right into my reinforcing Galatian Raiders here, Galatian swords, excuse me, and then turning back before my general can catch him. Going straight back through. That's going to be really cost effective for those chariots. So on 2 passes he's down 4 chariots and has killed about 75 men with them, so that's pretty decent. So what you can see here is I was trying to keep a noble horse heavy cavalry unit in between my infantry and his chariots at all times, which is why I'm now shifting my infantry around this flank now. I'm going to switch places with my cavalry and my infantry here because I see his chariots swinging around my left flank. I need to keep a heavy horseman in between my infantry and those chariots. You can see here over here where my Galatian swords got ran over. I did fail at that, but to my opponent's credit, he did extradite himself from the initial charge that my general gave him back behind his own lines, replaced his chariots with a sword unit to tie my general down, and then slammed into these Galatian swords. There really wasn't much I could do to counter that, so that was good charioteer work by my opponent there. However, we do manage to rout them, and here you can see I managed to rout the rest of his infantry and cavalry on the right wing, and now we have his chosen sword band and heroic nobles tied up into a melee engagement. I'm going to take down the banners. You guys can watch this charge come in. Pretty punishing. And now we're basically just going to wrap up the rest of this fight. You can see here we pretty much have a decisive win now with our cavalry. There's not much his infantry can do at this stage. So what I'm going to do is I charged in my cavalry to hammer this heroic noble in the rear, and now I'm going to extradite my light cav 1 at a time. I'm going to pull out my Galatian Raiders, then my general is going to extradite, and that's going to be, my general is going to be able to do that because I have Naked Swords and Celtic Tribesmen now to hold this heroic noble in place. So now my horsemen are out of the engagement, they can reset up for hammer and anvil strikes and continue this envelop. So here we go. I'm going to drop the flags. We'll watch the last bit of this combat here. This Galatian on Iceni action. It's pretty rough stuff. And there we go. We get the victory, guys. So let's go to battle stats. Let's take a look here. So we can see his chariots do get 75 kills. My general killing 11 men, which most of those were probably chariots. And the big thing I did want to focus on in this video was how I dealt with my opponent's chariots. You could tell that my opponent was trying to charge my infantry with my chariots. To counter this, I tried keeping a heavy horseman in between my chariots and in between his chariots and my infantry, and you can see that worked pretty well. My horsemen were able to hold down his chariots and kill about 3 or 4 of them on the charge, and that really punishes these chariots' morale. They don't have the highest morale to begin with. They do scare units, which is one good thing that they have going for them. But they are going to be very susceptible to heavy cavalry, which I feel like I proved in this video today. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. I hope you learned something tactical. This has been Epic Big Bird, signing off.